saya ng iyong pagtuturo. Minsa'y nakakatakot pag mainit ang ulo. Ngunit kahit ano pa ang ugali mo, basta't kami tiyak na natututo. O guro ko, o guro ko, ang iyong tungkulin ay di gawang biro. Ngunit ako'y bilib sa'yo, dahil sa'yo buoti ko'y tumatalino.
Good afternoon to all of our listeners here at DWWD Katropa Radio. You are listening to your favorite Sunday afternoon habit, the voice of the teachers. With me, of course, is our very own Dr. Ray Samson. Very, very welcome, Dr. Ray.
Good afternoon to everyone. Katropang Robert Ancheta. So maraming salamat at tayo naman ay nagkasama-sama upang maglingkod sa ating mga kapwa-guro na naglilingkod ng tapat sa ating mga mag-aaral. So Brother Katropang Bobby, what happened?
Maraming nangyari, and in fact, this time around, we are launching another segment to our ever-growing family. We will be launching University Extra Extra, ang segment.
Parang showbiz.
Parang showbiz din. Pero ito yung segment na magiging, which is going to be discussing co-curricular and extracurricular activities in school. Kasi usually nakakaligtaan to, but yung co-curricular and extracurricular activities actually play a very big role in the development of our learners.
And at the same time, Katropang Bobby, yung participation ng mga faculty, staff, to the development of the students kahit sa labas ng kanilang mga paaralan o kaya sa labas ng mga silid-aralan. So yung mga extracurricular activities can develop our students for the better future.
Yes, that's correct.
But before that, we would like to recognize our key personalities in the midst of our Voice of the Teacher Radio Show. Kung wala po sila, wala rin po ang Voice of the Teacher Radio Show. To our Department of National Defense Secretary, Delphin Lorenzana, sir. Our AFP Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Benjamin Madrigal Jr., sir.
The Group Commander of the MCAG, si Major Alwin Maneja. Sir, thank you very much for the opportunity of providing us with a platform for teachers, by teachers, and with teachers. We would also like to thank our station manager, si Captain Aladin Almendras, our very friendly and celebrity na ngayon na si Production NCO Sergeant Jeffrey Malimban.
Nakita ko siya.
Yes. Sa PBB.
Sa PBB, sa Pinoy Big Brother.
Ka-level na niya si Aljur Abrenica. Siya pa yung nag-train. Okay, we would also like to thank the technical staff of the DWWD Katropa Radio, sina Air Force Second Class Dexter Orata, very friendly na kaibigan natin, si PFC Krisha Sabado, and si PFC Ascanio. Thank you very much for all of the help.
So, yan itong mga tao behind the camera.
Yes, they are behind the camera. They are the ones who are taking charge of course, yung kroma natin and everything else dito inside the studio.
At napakaganda na yung studio.
Ang dami ng development, di ba?
Of course.
Congratulations again to Major Alwin Maneja and the team of the DWWD.
Bawal lang mag-green.
Yes, bawal ang mag-green. Baka mawala yung katawan ninyo. Okay, the person you spoke, you might remember, is Miss Joy Castillo Pasidis. She was our guest a couple of months ago, and she is last month, and she is going to be our segment host for University Extra Extra. Siya yung segment host ng part ng show natin, which is going to be on a monthly basis, which will talk about extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities. A while later on, we will also be discussing one of the, we would say, hindi naman modern, but development in education, which is the outcome-based education.
Yeah, OBE.
OBE. Ito na yung ginagamit ng mga teachers ng even CHED in the creation of their curriculum. We would also like to recognize isang kasama natin dito who will be giving his reaction later on. Si Katropang AJ is here.
AJ.
Yes. He's still not in the camera screen, but he will be joining us later on. It's very nice to see you.
Of course.
Ang dami ngang nagsasabi, kailangan namin makikita si Dr. Ray. Sabi ko, he's very, very busy. He's busy, but he hopes to be with us very soon. So,
Yeah, kasi alam nyo naman tayo, nasa armed service din tayo sa Philippine National Police. Of course, binabati natin ang ating Chief PNP, Police Director General, na magiging Police General
Yes.
Oscar David Albayalde.
hindi lang magiging. He's already a police general.
No, kasi alam mo naman may bago na kaming ranking system, di ba?
That was already signed by the president.
But the
Implementation.
IRR is not yet implemented.
Okay. So yung implementation is not yet done.
Not yet done. So,
Okay.
thank you very much for taking the lead, Katropang Bobby, and sa ibang mga co-hosts. Salamat dahil pang ilang taon naman natin to?
This is our 5th year.
5th year.
This is our 5th year.
5th year
When
na
we
po,
start,
March.
actually we started as a 30-minute segment.
Be seeing you more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, kung ako'y welcome.
You're all the time welcome. We even expected you to be here about 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Kasi ang ano yan, Katropang Bobby, no? Meron tayong youth exchange program, cadet exchange program in relation to ROTC and Citizens Advancement Training of the Armed Forces. So, nag-host na po tayo, the Philippines, under the National Cadet Corps of the Philippines. Isa rin po ako sa founder. So, sana pupunta sila dito nung 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, yung time ng flight nila is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, they need to be in the airport 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So, hindi na sila nakapunta. So, fortunately, yung ating founder naman ng NCCP, National Cadet Corps, ay naging host din natin dito.
Yes.
Naging bisita natin.
I think he was one of the first.
Yeah, siya si Sergeant Marcelo na nagtatag ng NCCP. So, from time to time, sir, siguro pwede sa university extra yung ating participation sa ROTC, sa CAD.
Yes, actually that will be part of our discussion.
Of course. And congratulations to the Raati team of the Armed Forces of the Philippine Army kasi nai-ano nila ang kanilang ang tinatawag nating annual inspection at ang pamantasan ng lungsod ng Muntinlupa ang nag-number 1 sa drill competition. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
So maganda ito, Katropang Bobby, dahil ang ating mga kabataan ngayon aktibo na sa pagsuporta sa national call of patriotism and nationalism through participation to ROTC program, no?
I was able to undergo that training and sinasabi ko it will really teach you discipline.
At ibang-iba noon.
Yes.
Ngayon, hindi naman po yan katulad Katropang Joy yung ating tinatawag na noong sinaunang panahon na mayroong mga tinatawag na hazing. Wala na po yan ngayon. More on ang focus sa po natin ng Armed Forces is to instill proper discipline, patriotism and nationalism through relevant community service. So, servanthood na ngayon ang focus ng ROTC. So, may naka-uniform pa rin na mga patig uniform, pero hindi po dapat yun maging simbolo ng katakutan ng mga mamamayan na hindi ito magdadala ng mabuti na puro mararahas at masasakit na pananalita na kukuha ng ating mga kabataan. So, mataas na po ngayon ang tolerance at mataas na po ang maturity ng ROTC program natin ngayon.
And we also have to remember that we already have revised, if I'm not mistaken, yung anti-hazing law. Yes. So, that means we have more confidence this time around na yung mga hindi ka nais-nais ay mangyayari.
Na hindi mangyayari.
Yes.
Before kasi hindi siya napag-uusapan.
Well, there was
it was hidden.
Yes. There was already an anti-hazing law sometime in the 1990s, late 1990s. Kaya lang yung ni-revise ngayon is pinaigting pa nila.
Yung responsibility ng university, ng school, ng training institution in regards to the monitoring and administration of the program of ROTC, fraternity inside the school. Kasi Katropang Body B, mayroong mga eskwelahan naman talaga recognize yung mga organization.
Yes.
No? Like in the University of the Philippines and other university.
I think that started also with Lemmy Villa.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think medyo talaga
This was in the 1990s.
This was sensationalized case yan.
This was in the Lenny Villa, 1990s, and then I think this
Law
was
student.
law student.
Yes.
Hindi na natin
Nagkandemon
babangkatin
bigla
yung
siya.
paaralan dahil andon ka.
Oo nga.
And if you would also remember, Katropang Ray, kaya nga walang na-raise, di ba, for quite some time
Oo.
sa fraternity na bahagi tayo
Yes.
because of that issue.
1 year, ha? 1 year, Katropa
Matagal-tagal
ng
din.
Bobby.
Okay, so we have a full day this afternoon. We have a full afternoon. First, we are going to be discussing about the importance of extracurricular activities in on campus, and also its relevance to total human development. And also, we will be discussing the OBE, or the outcome-based education, which is going to be discussed, which is going to be hosted by another former guest natin. Ila-launch natin yung segment, yung pag-host niya, si Portia Ebol. Okay, so hindi na natin patatagalin yung discussion natin. I
Yes.
turn the microphone to our segment host ng University Extra Extra, Miss Universe Philippines, Joy Castillo Pasidis.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, and welcome to the new segment of DWDD, which is Extra and Co-Curricular Activity and its relevance to human development, entitled University Extra. Yours truly po ang magiging host nyo every second week of the month po tayo laging magkikita rito at 1 p.m. And today, we are actually lucky to have our guest. He is actually the first ever he's actually a UMS faculty and student activity head officer of Far Eastern University. He's actually teaching philosophy, research, communication, and media information literacy, licensed professional teacher, graduated from PUP Santa Mesa, Master in Communication, currently enrolled in UP Diliman, having a PhD in Communication. He's a member of Philosophical Association of the Philippines, a member of Leadership in Education Academy of the Philippines, and a board member of the Philippine Association for Media and Information Literacy. Let us all welcome Mr. Jomar D. Redubla, LPT MC. Sir,
Hello
Katropang
po.
Jomar, good afternoon po sa inyo.
Good afternoon po mga katropa. Kinakabahan ako dito sa first segment, no. Anyway, thank you so much ma'am for inviting me, and also thank you then for DWDD for having me here. Sana makatulong yung mga experiences na meron ako for being the student activities for extracurricular activities.
Sir, huwag lang kabahan. Kasi we're just gonna
Let's
be
just correct that. DWDD.
DWDD, yeah.
Yes. Sir, of course, marami tayong mga listeners right now na professional teachers, and at the same time, mga single parent na interesado regarding sa ating topic today, which is extracurricular activity and co-curricular activity, and its importance, of course, in line with academics. And total human development. So, sir, being the head, no? I'm sure marami po kayong mga challenges na nai-encounter in approving the different activities na nila-line up and sinasubmit sa inyo. What are the criteria para ang isang extracurricular and co-curricular activity will eventually be approved by you, and at the same time, yung school po ba is
Management
meron po tayong
level.
mga na management level? Kasi sometimes, di ba, medyo nagkakaroon ng conflict of interest. Iba yung gusto ng head dun sa gusto ng eskwelahan. So on your part, sir, ano po yung mga challenges na yan, and ano po yung mga kinoconsider nyo?
Actually, yung first namin tinitignan, is it in line with the mission vision of the school?
Yes.
So, like for example, in our school, the mission vision or the mission is actually to, of course, help the students to be future ready for their college education, and even, of course, kung magtatrabaho na sila. So, we actually start from the club offering. So, we have clubs and different student organizations. So, kung may club kami, we see also yung purpose ng club, is it still in line with the mission, vision of the school to help the student to be ready, future ready kumbaga, parang ganun. And then, yun yung first criteria. So we see, we are checking if the activity is in line with the mission, vision of the school. We are also checking if the activity is possible. Siyempre, at saka sabi nga ng DepEd, dapat yung ang una natin tinitingnan is the safety of the students. So we're also checking if, of course, if it's internal or external activity, we're also checking, of course, those the safety of the students. I think also pati yung financial concerns papasok din doon. No? Siyempre kapag nag-approve ka ng isang activity, we are also checking, siyempre sa amin, part ba yan ng budget? That's the first thing. Pwede bang i-shoulder ni school? Binayaran ba siya ni student? Or may another additional payment pa si student? At kaya ba ni student to shoulder this?
Sir Jomar, I would like to ask, do you make a distinction between extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities?
Yeah, actually, when you say extracurricular activities, well, from the word extra, no, ibig sabihin it's not actually part of the academic curriculum, but we are doing that in order to mold or to help the students.
Mhm.
So let's say for example, paano ba siya? Hindi siya connected sa subject. Okay?
Mhm.
Hindi siya connected sa subject. It could be part of the club or the student organizations. O sige, gagawa tayo or we'll attend for an outreach program and so on and so forth. Or a field trip related to dun sa club activity. When you say co-curricular activity, those are the activities related to the academics. So yun yung as far as I understand the situation. No?
But usually right now, parang yung distinction niya is very, very thin
Yeah.
already.
Napaka-marginal niya.
Oo.
Okay. Sir, like for example, right now, ano yung favorite mo na, being the head, what's your favorite na extracurricular activity and co-curricular activity ng FEU? That you think parang only your school was able like to, alam mo yun, to provide or at least,
Okay.
parang dito mo pwede talagang kunin yun. Kasi most of the school also have co-curricular activity, extracurricular activity, alam natin yan.
And that's actually mandated by the DepEd as early as the early 2000s. There was already a DepEd memo instructing all of the schools as much as possible to come up with a center for co-curricular, CC
Yeah.
something.
Kasi ako laki akong
Yes.
Bata ako na puro
Co-curricular activities.
extracurricular
Pero yung ginawa ng DepEd was really to mandate, really to instruct the schools as much as possible, come up with a center for co-curricular activities. Yes. So there was already that instruction coming from the DepEd as early as the 2000s.
Exactly. So sir, ano yung mga favorite mo?
Kami kasi we have new activity in FEU. Ang tawag namin doon yung Cine Moraita. It's a film festival. Ang gumagawa nun yung mga estudyante lang namin. Though it's an internal activity. So kasi amazing kasi it's on its third year ngayon. So yung ginagawa ng mga bata, they are creating films. Actually, yung senior high school program, yung majority of the performance tasks na pinapagawa namin is most likely they are doing films, they are doing 1-minute video and so on. So we come up with an idea of, since it's actually an extracurricular activity, okay, extracurricular activity, we connect that extracurricular activity to academics and even to co-curricular activity. So we ask, for example, we ask the students to watch the film in line with their media and information literacy. So at the same time, we are doing extracurricular activities at the same time in line with their academics.
Yes.
So graded po ba yung mga extracurricular activity and co-curricular activities? So nagre-reflect ba yun sa report cards?
Well, it depends upon each school. Siguro muna, before I react to that one, let's give Sir Jomar the floor.
Yeah. So gusto mo na, sir.
Yung extracurricular activities, actually, for our setup for the grade 11, it's required. Okay, so ibig sabihin, all grade 11 students are required to have at least one club. Yun yung sa amin. So, syempre ang tawag namin doon, club hunt. So, parang org hunt, ma'am, if you are familiar nung nasa UST. So, marami kayong clubs and so on. So, they are going to choose kung ano yung options nila and so on. So, hanggang sa matanggap sila. Okay, hanggang sa matanggap sila. So, it's graded actually. It's graded. So, we grade them according to first attendance. Okay? Attendance. Kasi it's also parang kasabay niya kasi yung academics. Second is also the performance. So, the performance can be performance itself or it could be a written performance. And of course, there's a final activity or culmination. pagdating sa grade 12 namin, we do not require them. We do not require them. So it's optional. Kasi sa amin, the transition is that we have grade 12 for clubs. We have also grade 12 for student organizations. And the student organization, actually the grade 11 club is a training ground for their grade 12 student organizations. Kasi yung grade 11 po, faculty namin yung nagmamanage ng clubs. While the grade 12, the students themselves are the ones managing and organizing so they are the ones creating the constitution and bylaws of the organizations. Sila rin yung nag-asikaso to register in the SEC and then the BIR to become an official organization.
So parang internship talaga, parang OJT na sila na yung gumagawa.
And
Meron
not
na
only
lang
that,
guidance.
you can actually train the kids to be more of in their leadership
Yes.
performance.
Yes.
Diba?
But this is student organization, sir. Meron silang mentor, merong faculty in charge, advice.
Yes, sir. They still have their own organization as organization advisor. Pero mas kasi parang more on advising talaga.
Advising.
Yung, unlike technical. Unlike yung sa clubs kasi, the teacher will say na, ito yung activities natin today, ito yung gagawin natin
Medyo
today.
spoon-feeding pa sila dun sa
opo.
11th
Kasi
grade.
parang training program, then we go to
Ngayon ko na nalaman. Kasi doon sa eskwela ng pinanggalingan ko, wala eh. Student organization talagang, so dapat pala ma-classify ang club sa organization.
That's the reason why in some schools there is an office that's called the Student Personnel Office, a
Yes.
Student Activities Division. So yung nag-a-approve. Ito na yung ginagawa ni Sir Jomar.
And each club also has their set of officers.
Yes.
Set of officers and
Sila talaga yung nagli-lead, lahat ng mga approval niyan and all of the activities behind it. And then I think the advisor are the one parang saying that, okay, this is possible,
Yes.
this is in line with the mission and the vision of the school, then you go for that.
I would just like to add something to what Sir Jomar has said. When I was in college, yung co-curricular activities, meron kaming mga co-curricular awards, extra and co-curricular awards in the university. And I was lucky enough when I was about to graduate, I was given the University Leadership Award. Yung ginagawa doon is that all of the activities that you have had from your first year up to the fourth year, binibilang yun.
Yeah.
So yung ginagawa is that you have to have your certificate to show. And yung activity, so your the criteria would be for service, leadership, and yung iba mo pang mga ginagawa, yung academics mo rin for the awards, service award, leadership award, and then each of the year levels, freshman student of the year, sophomore student of the year, junior student of the year, and senior student of the year. And then we have the most outstanding student award. So yung most outstanding, lahat na siya. Yung sa leadership, yung concentration niya, mas malaki yung criteria sa mga positions. Yung service, mas malaki yung percentage for the service. Pero yung academics din is still a part of it. Kailangan wala kang bagsak to qualify, but it's competitive. So if you're really gunning for any of those awards, kailangan mo talagang mag-ipon ng mga certificates. So when I was already teaching in high school, and then eventually when I became principal, I came up with our SPGO, in Student Personnel and Guidance Office. And one of the services that the office provided, was also in guiding the students in compiling all of their certificates and yung mga services nila. Sa school, when you are going to be computing for honors, and during my time, even in the public school, this was also conducted. 60% is taken for the academics, and then 40% is for the co-curricular or extracurricular activities. If it's not 60, it could be about 90, but there is a certain percentage there for co-curricular activities. In one of the years na I was principal, yung father was a policeman. Tinakot pa ako dahil yung anak niya was sickly, and they already knew the procedure from the very beginning because and this is also very important, during the school orientation, we lay down everything, including the computation for honors. So we also explain to them that this is going to be the point system because each of the activities that you have will have an equivalent point.
Yeah,
Yung
exactly.
position mo rin in an organization will have a different point, also depending on the level. So, merong school level, ibang points yon sa ikaw yung leader, ikaw yung organizer, ikaw lang yung member. And then if you are also, let's say, an officer of the city division or inter-school, ibang level din yun. Regional, ibang level din yun. National, ibang level. International, ibang level. Even if you are just a member, meron ding equivalent points nun. So you have to compile all of those. And then yung mga activities, participation mo in the different activities, meron ding points. So yung student na yon who was supposed to be sa computation sa grades, she was second. Kaya lang when we included now the co-curricular and extracurricular activities, bumaba siya to first honorable mention. Nagalit yung ama. Pero sabi ko, well, these are our rules. And then meron pang isa na teacher siya from the public school, pumunta, sinugod kami doon sa school, and then pina-explain sa amin yung computation. Tapos dala-dala niya yung computation ng DepEd. Sabi ng representative ng DepEd na pumunta din sa school namin, "Sir, this is my stand. Etong memo na pinakita ng teacher is DepEd. Kung tinitingnan mo dyan, public schools ang nakalagay. If the private schools will be following such system, that's fine. But if the private school already has its own system, then the private school follows their system." So, yes, it has some bearing on the computation of the honor students, yung co-curricular activities. But I think what is more important is really the benefit that the students will be able to gain from participation in the co-curricular and extracurricular activities. And I think si Sir Jomar will be able to add more to that one.
Exactly. Sir, maiba tayo. Aside from the ones that you have mentioned a while ago, sa FEU din ba, ganun din in choosing, like your honorable students, na talagang bumabalanse yung co-curricular and extracurricular activities in terms of their standing as a student, and yung grades talaga nila when they're actually running for honors?
Actually, we have also the pointing system, pero hindi ko na masyadong memorize yung kasi we have actually different committee for that one, no. So, but what we actually have, yung nakarelate din ako kay Sir, and I think sabi ko nga nung habang minimension ni Sir, sabi ko, until now naman, ginagawa pa rin naman natin yung we have the pointing system, and we also have, sa amin po kasi we have, so for the senior high school setup, we let the students to apply for graduation, just like college setup.
Yeah.
So they have to submit also certifications, na leader din sila. Yeah. And then we also deliberate. Okay, pero siguro ang pinaka-highlight po sa amin siguro hindi nabanggit ni Sir is we also highlight the discipline. Kasi we are for us our school, no, ang pinaka-highlight din sa amin is the discipline. So dapat kapag candidate ka for leadership for honor student, wala kang major offense, wala kang minor offense, or even yung mga records natin ng mga cutting classes.
Yan. Nag-cheating.
Kasi sabi natin, how can you be a leader or a model tapos meron kang ganitong major offense? Yan. Syempre yung pero sa amin I think for my own stand, no, hindi naman porket may minor offense kasi for minor offense, sabi ko baka pwede pa nating, though kahit major offense we can still shape the student Pero for that award siguro we can say na yan kasi consequence yan nung major offense na ginawa mo.
And I think this is where the advisors come in.
Yes.
Because they are the ones who usually nominate yung mga students under their department or under their college, if sa university organization, it's usually the guidance counselor of the department or the or the college na magno-nominate kung sino yung ipapadala nila or candidates for
Sa awards committee.
sa awards committee.
Yeah, we also have recommendation letters from the advisor. Actually, dalawa po yung nagsaserve na advisor ng isang student. It could be the advisor, the homeroom advisor, and the second one is the club or organization advisor.
Sir Jomar, before we end this segment, I would like to ask, if you are going to be convincing a student to participate in the co-curricular and extracurricular activities, even the parents, how do you sell that idea na we highly recommend that you participate in these activities because what will be their takeaways?
First is security of preparing the child for their own future. Okay, so kasi iba po yung level ngayon ng senior high school. No? Sa senior high school, may track na si student. So ibig sabihin may track na siya, may strand na siya na I want to become, for example, a doctor. So mag-i-STEM ako. So for the STEM student, ang ibebenta namin sa magulang, we have under the STEM student, we have different clubs na related dun sa STEM.
Correct.
And at the same
Interest
time,
nung-
the interest ng bata, and at the same time, we are helping the child na, ma'am, hindi lang confined yung student, yung anak mo sa loob ng classroom. And at the same time, natututo siya external or outside the classroom na ito po yung mga niready naming activities.
Holistic.
Yeah, holistic approach.
Lalo na yung mga social development, no? How they deal with other people, not only with their
Yun.
classmates.
Yeah.
Kasi yung classmate, araw-araw mo na nakikita.
Yes.
I think sa club, it's the entire school eh.
This is now where they also develop their soft skills.
Yeah,
Exactly.
soft skill.
Yeah, yung communication skills nila, leadership skills, team building,
Siguro,
teamwork.
katropang Robert, yung inline dun sa sinasabi ni Sir na holistic approach dependent doon sa program ng bata sa K-12. Congratulations, Muntinlupa National High School, kasi napatumba nila ang napakadaming mga senior high school sa buong mundo noon sa award sa Middle East, sa
Wow.
Dubai.
Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
actually
sweet.
heard that
Muntinlupa
nomination at
National
saka
High School,
winning.
nasa loob po siya ng New Bilibid compound.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Pero
actually
ang mga
heard it.
teachers, ang mga estudyante, hindi dahil doon sila nakatira, doon ang location.
Ika nga
Siyempre,
world class, no? Dom.
namesake nga kasi ma'am yung Katropang Joy, yung Muntinlupa National High School. Basta may salitang Muntinlupa, bilibid agad na nasa isip. Pero ang Muntinlupa National High School, kasi nung tinignan namin, bakit ano yung meron dito na yung program ng mga bata is more on science and technology. So ang kanilang mga experimentation, yung kanilang mga baby thesis, mga na sinusuportahan ng DepEd, inilalaban sa international.
Wow.
Talagang nananalo.
It's good that you mentioned that one, na parang yung focus talaga is on the result.
On the result.
On the result
Exactly.
na pwedeng magawa ng mga bata, which is related to our next topic,
Yeah.
which is going to be on outcome-based education. So, thank you very much, Sir Jomar.
Yes.
Congratulations, Ms. Joy, for a very wonderful first episode.
Thank you for having me today. And of course, I'm inviting everyone again to always stay tuned to our channel every second week of the Sunday of the month.
Okay, so before we proceed to our next segment, we would just like to highlight the CRS anniversary theme, CRS AFP at 68, involving stakeholders toward conflict resilient communities, which is going to be on the 13th of March, 2019. Now, Kuyang Ray, this month of March is also the Fire Prevention Month.
Nako, kuya, kasatropang Robert, nakakalungkot naman, parang araw-araw nakakita tayo ng sunog.
Yun nga eh.
Papunta ako ng Krami kahapon, umagang-umaga dyan sa Taguig, may nasusunog.
Yung office namin is along 20th Avenue, and usually I stay home late. Not home. I stay in the office late, at ang nangyayari, palagi kong naririnig yung
Mga fire truck.
yung wang-wang ng fire truck.
At ang call ng Presidente at ng Chief PNP ng Armed Forces, bawal na po ang wang-wang sa mga pulis na umi-escort sa mga politiko, lalo na ngayong halalan, at sa mga private citizen na pumupunta sa casino. Yan po ay pinagbabawal, mga katropa. Yan po ay paalala ng Armed Forces at ng Philippine National Police.
Yes.
So katropa nga Robert,
Before
so
we
in relation, no?
Yes. Before we proceed also to the next segment, I would just like to thank two of our partners, the APSA, the Asian Psychological Services and Assessment, si Ms. Adelaida Deperio. Thank you very much for your support to the DWWD Voice of the Teachers radio program. We would also like to thank another friend of ours, partner natin, yung Slimmers World Trafalgar branch na of course introduced to us by Katropang Gerald. Thank you very much for your
At
support.
sana marami pang sumunod.
Yes, that's correct. Including yung review center mo.
Oo, yung review center po namin.
Oh,
Malapit na po.
pangalan
At
mo
yung
naman.
PSIS, ang Philippine Society for Industrial Security, ay magiging partner po ng ating Voice of the Teacher radio show through the DWDD radio station.
Kailan ko ba kailangang i-renew yung membership ko?
Ang membership mo po ay 3 years.
Okay.
So, pwede pa naman kung mag-a-advance sa security management course
Soon.
po kayo.
Yes.
Next month, meron po kami. So, ang PSIS po ang nangangalaga, ang counterpart po ng ating armed forces and ng PNP for the protection and safety of our industrial security sectors.
Mhm.
So, sila po yung mga security practitioners at ang ating po Chairman Emeritus ay si Dr. Ed Polhencio, Chairman Emeritus po ng PSIS International.
And also, hindi lang yung security course is not only for security guards and
Yeah.
operators of security agencies.
Correct.
It's also good for HR practitioners because yun namang HR has a responsibility in ensuring loss control in the
Inside the organization.
inside the organization. So,
Tsaka background investigation,
Yes, that's
credit
correct.
investigation,
Uh-huh.
data information security.
that's correct. So, it's not only for security personnel but also for HR practitioners.
practitioners. At ikaw ay HR practitioner.
Yes,
Katropa
that's correct.
Robert. Okay, let's go to our next segment.
Our next segment is going to be dealing with one of the, hindi naman to latest, but it's something that has been practiced for quite some time, hindi lang masyadong na-highlight.
Tahimik.
Yes. But this is one of the most effective ways of teaching. We would like to give the floor to our segment host for teaching stamps. Stamps stands for strategies, techniques, approaches, methods and methodologies, philosophies, and styles.
Parang ako na rin nakakarinig na foundation of education.
Yun,
1 to 10.
actually, that's one of the topics of teaching stamps.
Yeah.
And we would like to welcome our segment host who will be having her first hosting job this afternoon, si Katropang Portia.
Hello po.
Hello po. Thank you for having me here. And yan, excited po ako for our first segment, which first launch of our segment, which is teaching stamps, where we feature various educators discussing their strategies and principles that will be helpful for us teachers. So for today, we have outcome-based education, a key to students' employability. So we have here our guest. She's a former grade school English coordinator and currently senior high school instructor. She's teaching oral and practical research. Also, my classmates in grad school in National Teachers College, we have Miss Sherwil Gangan.
Hello.
Welcome, madam. Welcome
Thank you.
po.
Thank you for having me here po. I'm so excited and so nervous.
No, don't worry. The show is very conversational. Nakita mo naman kanina.
Yeah. So, Ms. Sherwil, we would like to know more about our topic for today. What can you say about or discuss us, explain further, what is OBE or outcome-based education?
As mentioned by Sir Bobby, before pa to yung OBE, it was from the CHED. The CHED said, implemented rather, noong 2012 pa ito. However, it was not highlighted. Pero after nung it was implemented, there were so many seminars that was given for all the teachers to be inclined with the so-called OBE. OBE is basically outcome-based education. It is very student-centered. Yes. And it's one way of showing the knowledge, the skills of the students. It's a display of knowledge and also of what they've learned from their teachers and also from the disciplines that they've taken. Ganun siya.
Parang sa ROTC, Katropang Bobby, sa mga training schools ng mga sundalo natin, ng mga pulis, meron tayong tinatawag, ma'am, na 20% theory and then 80% performance.
Yes.
Yan na yung tinatawag nating performance outcome, no?
Yes.
Yung ipe-perform nila pagkalas ng baril, paggawa ng mga makina,
Yes.
at isinusupervise lang ng teacher. So ito po ba, ma'am, itong OBE program, OBE strategy ng Commission on Higher Education, kailan to nagsimula na talagang, kasi parang parang K-12, parang nagkabiglaan din yung mga teacher,
Yes.
no? Matagal na pala pinag-uusapan bago nagkabiglaan. Kailan nakilala ang OBE?
Actually, back in 2012.
2012.
Pero long before, as far as I know, kasi I've been teaching for 18 years now,
Oh.
I think we've been doing it. Teachers have been doing this thing. However, it's not labeled as a OBE. Pero when it was implemented na, everybody's doing it na.
So ito ma'am, in line din po ba ito sa ating tinatawag na international agreement on integration, ASEAN integration?
I think so.
So ang OBE ngayon, Katropang Bob, is yung pagpe-perform ng mga bata not solely to the theory, but kailangan mag-perform sila based doon sa mga performance tasks, list, may checklist na and then the teacher is just the supervisor, no? Sinusupervise niya na lang yung So ano ang mga impact na nakikita natin na kagandahang dulot ma'am ng OBE sa mga estudyante after their basic or tertiary education?
Yes, can I share my experience with my students?
Sure.
Because I'm teaching oral communication and practical research 1 and 2. So also in the different strands, just like the recently concluded senior high week, we've highlighted all the strands. The STEM had their products. So more of elements, chemicals, and all those sort of things. And then the ABM naman, they produce their products as well, and with the aim of selling them and getting into entrepreneurship. While yung humanities naman namin, yung HUMS, more on humanities and arts, they were able to put up their own exhibit. Yung recently, we had that in the Lucky Chinatown Mall. So it was so productive. The OBE is so productive because the planning itself, the organizing of everything, the conceptualizing of the products and all were done inside the classroom, but then elicited outside. So yung lahat ng skills na ginagamit nila within the room and with their classmates and teachers, they were already displayed outside. Just imagine how they
These
convince.
are now the outcomes.
Yes, sir. Imagine the skills that they have, and they have to really talk to people, convince people, introduce their products and the ingredients and everything. Yun ang ganda eh. Tapos they even have demonstration. They were given their own stalls eh. So it's a partnership between Chiang Kai-shek College and the LCT or the Lucky Chinatown Mall.
2 questions. What is OBE for the benefit of our listeners, and how do you differentiate it from the traditional way of preparing our lessons?
Actually, the OBE is more parang hybrid. You get all the kinds of because you can place in all kinds of methodologies, all kinds of strategies that as long as you are centering it on the learning of the child. Unlike yung sa traditional, sometimes most of the times rather, they don't have the ICT used, we actually remove them from that kind of thinking na dito ka lang magle-learn. No, it's not like that. You can expose your students to various kinds of things. Realia, very important. Very, very important. You have to let them experience it, know it. It's not just a matter of knowing, it's a matter of experiencing and trying really, not just to see it.
For our listeners who may not be well-versed in education, when we talk about realia, yung mga materials na nakikita mo talaga. So for example, meron kang ipapagawa na material, poster ba, or let's say diorama ba, yun yung realia. Something that people can hold, can see, can smell, reality talaga. And I think yung OBE is, yung emphasis niya is really to let the students produce or perform yung end task or yung particular skill na kailangan nilang i-demonstrate or i-perform. So for example, if this is a speech class, kailangan pumunta talaga sila doon sa stage and then they speak. They perform.
In relation to that, Kuya, Katropang Bobby, yung mga bata na nag-upload ng kanilang voice-over sa isang balita.
Yes.
Ako, tuwan-tuwa talaga ako. Very, very much catchy sa attention. Sabi ko nga naku, yari na yung mga broadcaster. Yung kanilang kapalit,
may mga
naghahanda
talent.
na. Mga bata ito, mga bata. Mga high school student ito, K-12 students. So, makikita natin dito mga katropa na ang OBE talagang matagal na ito, pero hindi lang masyado nabigyan ng focus, ng attention na meron na rin po nga sa National Youth Commission, no, Katropang Bobby, yung at saka MTRCB, yung sa gagawa lang ng parang indie, hindi naman indie film parang pelikula na maliit lang yung oras, pero ang
short film.
Short film, pero ang
films.
target is yung mga participant, mga bata, mga estudyante.
Meron din mga ganon. In fact, including the NCCA, I don't know with the CCP, pero they sometimes have this Sine Pambata.
Sine Pambata.
Okay, so yung mga yung audience, yung target audience are also children. By the way, just before we proceed to our next question, I would just like to greet a former student of mine, si Safia Hussaine, who's in Kuwait right now, and she's watching.
International na talaga ang
Hello
voice of the teachers.
We actually have very many people, even from the outside. I have another friend who's watching us right now. He's in the United States. Si Joy Ganon, schoolmate ko. He's a few years older than I am, but we're good friends. Nung dating nagsasoccer pa ako.
Oh, wow! Biruin mo, Katropang Bobby, hindi mo akalain soccer player pala dati.
Sa school lang, hindi nakalabas ng school.
Pero ang ano niyan na Katropang Bobby, yung gusto ko malaman sa ating bisita, yung ano po ba ng OBE ay hindi naman po natin ina-encourage na wag na magtuloy sa higher learning yung estudyante, no?
I know, sir.
Pero ang tingin po ba natin, ma'am, sa curriculum natin ngayon sa junior and senior high school, ito po ba stand-alone po ba ito na kung ang estudyante po hindi muna siya magtuloy ng kanyang pag-aaral sa higher learning, magagamit niya po ba itong mga OBE na natutunan niya sa kanyang program sa K-12?
Yes, sir, definitely. Kasi in OBE, most of the skills that are needed, yung tinatawag na employability skills, are already tackled and targeted. So when they go out, kahit hindi pa sila magtuloy ng kanilang college, for the meantime, pwede nilang magamit. Like for example, di ba ang mga employability skills would be communication, teamwork, organization, self-organization din, of course, the use of technology, and learning pa din. So, continuous learning. So,
teacher, Katropang Bobby, soft skill.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Now, which is yan ang problema rin Katropang Bobby sa industry kasi daw, may alam daw yung college graduate, ma'am. Kaya lang daw, ang hina daw po, ang baba daw po ng soft skills.
Pero sir, let me just share na ngayon, implementing our K-12, part of our grading system sa mga teachers sa grade school is like 20% written work and almost like 60% performance task. So more on pinapractice na namin na not just theory but may result tayo.
Result
So
oriented.
as early as grade school pa lang.
Katropang Portia, it's good that you mentioned yung criteria for grading because we have a question here from our audience asking, ano ang pinaka-effective na way to evaluate yung sa OBE?
Pinaka-effective na way, dapat po meron tayong proper assessment
Like
through
rubrics.
rubrics.
Yeah.
Kasi there are many kinds of rubrics, di ba?
Yeah.
And we a certain kind of rubric would definitely assess a certain kind of skill. So dapat aligned lahat. In the OBE, starting sa curriculum, sa planning ng curriculum, dapat maayos na. Dapat it's well-defined. What particular outcome would you intend the students to achieve? Because if not, wayward yan. Malayo ang mangyayari dyan. You will never achieve what you need to achieve.
And the good thing with rubrics is that it lessens subjectivity.
Yes, sir. It's very objective. It's very transparent. Yan ang pinakamaganda kasi even the parents could ask,
Yes.
how did my child get this certain grade? Oh, here are the sets of rubrics that I have.
Katropang Ray, ito yung sinasabi mo kanina na merong checklist because yung rubric yun na yung chine-checkan mo na nagpakita ba to, nag-demonstrate ba ng
Evidence,
ganito, and so on. So
At yan ang yung mga rubrics na yan ay hindi naman basta-basta ililagay lang yan ng teacher. May pinagbabatayan
yes,
yan.
and that's also the reason why teachers should make sure that they have a good document and filing system because they can actually reuse all of these rubrics that they have or maybe adjust it a bit. Kasi paggawa ng rubrics from scratch is going to be very taxing, time-consuming. You will be wrangling your brains out.
Pero ang inana naman natin dyan, teacher, hindi naman natin sarilinin ba?
Yes.
Kung ikaw lalo ka bago
I-share.
kang teacher, you need to have a mentorship sa ibang mga senior faculty member na magpa-guide ka,
Yes.
hindi kasi po pwede magaling ka na pagdating doon, no?
Yes.
So ang natin pagdating diyan sa mga ganyang lalo na sa OBE, talaga ang importante diyan, ma'am, yung nag-uusap-usap kayong mga faculty, mga teachers na same program, same asignatura eka nga. Kayo nag-uusap-usap kayo para standardize po yung inyong instructions and assessment sa mga bata, no? So gaano po ka-importante, ma'am, yung kaalaman ng teacher bilang supervisor or kaya mentor sa isang OBE activity?
Actually, one of the most important things that a teacher should really possess is the ability to absorb learning, absorb and try to deepen your learning. Isa pa yung pag nagpupunta ka sa mga seminars, I mean, like for example, rubric making. Hindi kasi, there are times, may kita mo sa net, okay, there's a certain rubric, there's a downloadable rubric, or meron namang ginawa naman ng co-teacher mo. Tapos you just join your mind together to make a certain rubric. Okay naman yon. Pero it will not give certainty na effective yung rubric. So it's better if we have seminars, we attend seminars, we really continuously grow into learning.
Yes. Just to summarize yung topic natin this afternoon, how would you again differentiate yung OBE from the traditional, and what are the marked differences na makikita mo kaagad na this is OBE compared to yung sa dati, and how do teachers effectively implement OBE?
Actually, OBE is basically super student-centered.
Natutunan niya sa napupulot niya yung mga takeaways na nakuha niya this afternoon sa ating dalawang segments. Katropang AJ, kumusta?
Hello, Katropang AJ. Welcome.
Hi, welcome, Katropang Bobby. Doc, good afternoon, Katropang Portia. Nakikinig lang ako dun sa background kanina, trying to guide our guests. First of all, sa OBE, it's very informative, especially to teachers, na hindi lamang pencil and paper yung ginagamit ng assessment, di ba? Hindi lamang dapat doon nasusukat yung talino ng isang bata. Kasi una sa lahat, yung learning hindi dapat restricted to what's happening inside the classroom. In connection with the first segment, we can see that extracurricular and co-curricular activities are equally essential to the holistic growth of a student, as what was mentioned a while ago. So I think these segments, the contents of these segments for today would help teachers enrich their understanding of how students are able to adapt to different facets of learning and growth. Yun lang po. Yun yung takeaway ko for this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much, Katropang AJ. Announcements, Katropang Ray.
Announcement, magpatuloy po tayong makinig sa DWWD All Radio program ng ating istasyon at ang Voice of the Teacher Radio Show. Sana more years to come.
Yes,
Katropang
with the support
Bobby
of the DWWD management. Thank you very much for this opportunity. The Voice of the Teachers will continue serving the Filipino people.
And of course, paalala lang po, ang buwan ng Marso ay buwan ng pag-iingat laban sa ligtas sunog.
And it's also Women's Month.
Women's Month, lumalaban ang kabaihan. Girl power!
And in behalf of all of the segment hosts of Voice of the Teachers, this is your host, Bobby Ancheta.
And Dr. Reynaldo Samson.
And Portia Ebon.
And we are
the Voice of the Teachers.
Ito ang DWWD 1134 kHz. Balita, impormasyon at musika. AM at FM pinagsama. Ito ang Katropa Radio. Iba tayo.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa 1134 kHz. DW